Welcome to the Golden Nuggets. This podcast is brought to you by WordPress. Ever wonder why some websites always pop up first? That's SEO magic at work. SEO stands for Search Engine Optimization. And if your website isn't up there, you're missing out big time. Here's the deal. Every day your website stays hidden is the day your competitors grab your customers. It's not just about being online, it's about being seen. At WordPress, we turn your website from invisible to irresistible. Simple, effective SEO that gets you noticed, gets you customers, and gets you ahead. Don't let your website be the internet's best kept secret. Make it a customer magnet. Ready to be found? Visit wordpress.com/search. Let's make your website the star of the show this year. Don't miss out.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Golden Nuggets podcast. Hanafi here with Ame, and we are at part 3 with Feroz.
Alright, so
Interesting. We
That's
ended
right. Okay, Feroz, can you share with us how your day normally went as a startup owner?
Wow. Very. I don't know. I don't know
you
what
mentioned
to
that you are busy a lot of times. You have a lot of things that you need to attend to. So maybe can you share with us what are the things that you need to attend to at the start?
So I think at the start, right, like I mentioned earlier in the earlier episode, is that I started off with having a full-time job first, right? And obviously I need to juggle that. And most of the time, I work on Wokaygo at night, right? And that's not sustainable, right? So most of the things about Wokaygo, at the start, it's a lot of research, a lot of try to make connections, right? Connect people, reach out to people, understanding, talk to average people as well to understand what's their pinpoint. Is this something that you guys will look forward to? Right? A lot of interactions, and sometimes when you reach out, cold emails, people respond and they want to have a meeting with you. You need to drop everything because these kind of people, they don't like okay, anytime you free, anytime I'm free, I will meet you. That kind of thing. That's how things works lah. So being the new player or the new kid in the block, we need to ensure that we really make the effort to connect with people. Doesn't matter whether it's related or not, because sometimes even if you connect with a restaurant, for example, like I've connected with Mustafa.
Yeah.
A lot of insights can be gained from there.
Correct.
Ustaz Mizi, one of our partners as well. Ustaz, what can you provide, right? But by the grace of Allah, we connected, and there's a lot of insight that he can give, and in fact, we really welcome him to the team and ensure that he said that he's quite well versed in the marketing aspect, and that's where we are seeking his assistance from. So there's a lot of things that we need to set the foundation right at the start. So that's the most hectic part, right? And also to ensure things are running smoothly. When every single thing that goes wrong can go wrong, will go wrong. And that's where you need to quickly rectify it. You need to quickly address it, and that's the time crunch that you are facing most of the time.
This is for you personally because okay, so for your CTO, I think his role is pretty clear. What about your role?
So I mainly handle the business aspect, right? So
business development,
building connection with other businesses. So we work, we try to formalize as much partnership as possible, right? We need to reach out to them, build a business case for them to be enticed to partner with us, because one thing a lot of people fear to do or fear to execute because they scared that they are nobody. Yes, I'm also a nobody. Reaching out to these big companies. Of course, I cannot name them now because the partnership is not formalized yet. It's still in the process. But you need to, in a way, Melayu cakap tebalkan muka.
Yeah.
Right. You really need to
Be thick skin.
be thick skin. Just engage them. At the end of the day, if you provide value, you believe in your product, you provide value to them, they will listen to you, and they are listening to us, right? They never shut us out directly. Say, no, who are you? You are a small fly. I don't want to talk to you. No, but that's the fear. Obviously, I also have that fear, right? I'm like nobody. I'm not well known because most of tech companies, CEOs, sometimes they are already well known in the space.
Yes.
But look at Mark Zuckerberg. He is just a Harvard dropout at the start, and that's where we kind of resonate a bit from him because he wanted to connect the university community at the start, and that really picks up traction because people believe that this can provide value to them, making new connections and stuff like that. So that is where we also trying to replicate, but not on the social media aspect because there's too many competition out there. There's no point for us to build another social media platform, and in Singapore, come on, you need to grow worldwide for that to really create an impact.
Correct.
So that's where we look into building a community in Singapore, and we can replicate that in the region as well. Like what I've mentioned earlier, food delivery. We want to have a food-based recommendation, right? So you're taking Grab, for example, right? This is a bit of insights lah, a sneak preview. So when you're taking a Grab to maybe Marina Bay Sands, you're already going there. Sometimes you don't, nak makan apa kat Marina Bay Sands So based on your destination, alright, we will recommend you the restaurants nearby.
I see.
Based on your preference.
Okay.
So that is in the works right now, and we are partnering with a company to allow seamless bookings as well. So to facilitate the users. So that's where we really feel that we want to be involved in your daily. People think that this is a menial task, nak pergi makan, nak ambil Grab, all this. But all this, if you can save, you can,
Save time also.
Save time.
Yeah.
It will make
reduce the thought process lah. Technically,
exactly.
Right.
Especially for.
With that being said, sorry, I have a question which is concerning this whole issue, right? And with all the whole AI being the hype right now, even though AI has been around for years, it's just people don't really see it, right? With all the AI being hyped, is this something they're going to implement into Wokaygo?
Yeah, definitely. Because basically AI as a whole is that it learns. It's like machine learning.
Yeah, machine learning.
Correct.
There's no.
And that's just one aspect.
Yeah. So it's just one aspect. You're right. So there's more to it, right? But it needs to be data driven as well. So all this user behavior, right? We're trying to not make use of it, but try to accommodate to them, right? If they always another thing that is in the roadmap is that if they always go to work in City Hall, for example, right, and they always take Grab, and obviously if you take Grab going to your work, sometimes you take Grab going back.
Yes.
And at that point of time, maybe there's a surge. Then we are thinking, okay, let's recommend to users that if you wait another 10 minutes, the price is likely to drop based on historical data.
Okay.
Right. So this will
that's going to be very helpful. Then we can make
Helpful but tricky because if everybody get the notification that we wait 10 minutes, then everybody will book 10 minutes later, then the search will still be there. Yeah, it's quite tricky. But
it's tricky. So there's a lot of aspect. Obviously, there's a lot of there's more to it lah. To say the least, and in terms of technology, it is very rapidly growing and evolving.
Yes.
So you need to really keep up. All right. You need to ensure that you are well aware. It started off like ChatGPT. Now they have Bing, they have Bard, Google Bard.
yes.
A lot of these similar.
It's very funny. People only know ChatGPT. People think it starts from ChatGPT, but it goes like way before.
Correct.
Like 3 years or so before ChatGPT came about. If you guys have read my articles, it's not written by me lah. Let's just say that I'm not gonna name which company or whatever, but I have been using it even before ChatGPT. Right. So knowing that the technological aspect of things are always moving extremely rapid.
Yes.
What's your take on this? Like, what are you planning to do to improve or to make sure that you are always up there?
Yeah.
I think essentially is we need to connect with people a lot, right? We need to. I think for Faizal, our tech guru always needs to keep himself updated with the latest technology or latest whispers of upcoming technology. Because if you are lacking, right, it's very hard to play catch up in tech.
Correct.
Right? You either keep abreast with the movement of tech, or you will be left behind, right? Is take a very simple example, mobile phones, right? Nokia was the dominant one.
Correct.
Out of the sudden, Apple, Samsung suddenly overtake out of nowhere, right?
Yes.
So that's why you really need to ensure that obviously it's easier said than done, but we need to ensure that we keep ourselves updated with the latest technology, and also always look for, in a way, you need to simplify user experience, because we are user driven, right? User driven technology. We want to simplify user experience, and that is where we need to constantly think, okay, even for ride hailing, now we are at this stage, how can we make it better for them, right, for the users, so that they can keep using the app? Because if you remain status quo for the next 5 years, or even 1 year or half a year, you're gonna be forgotten. A lot of apps down there. I think I am also guilty of it. I have a lot of app that eventually I don't use because
Yes,
they
correct.
don't really update. You know, they don't keep updated in terms of technology, in terms of the UI or UX, right? So that is something that is very critical in terms of tech aspect.
So if you guys manage to extract that piece of golden nugget, let me just say this for you, concise it for you. Be ahead of the wave. If you're not ahead of the wave, follow the wave. Just don't be the life buoy in the middle of the ocean. Just don't get stuck there, lah.
Yeah.
But mind you, I'm not a tech expert. Okay, I'm saying this out of the experience that has been gained. Obviously, your listeners out there will have a better technical acumen compared to me, and this is just sharing a bit of what I've experienced and what I've gone through, lah. Yeah.
For you yourself, when we talk about business development, what kind of KPI do you give yourself? Like perhaps, okay, today I must meet X number of person, or perhaps I must cold email this X number of companies. Is there a KPI that you give yourself?
Yeah, there needs to be a KPI, but unfortunately, even myself, I'm guilty of not meeting some of the KPIs because
But what are the
okay,
KPIs
for
you
example,
give yourself?
we need to get in touch with X number of companies, right? We need to ensure that we keep the momentum. If let's say they don't reply, we need to ensure that we keep the heat going. Means we message again or email again to, and to a certain extent that it's not very irritatable, but it's spark their attention. Oh, okay lah, this guy has been messaging me for or emailing me for quite a number of time. Let's just give it a shot, that kind of thing.
Stay at the top of the mind.
So sometimes I'm guilty of not following through also, to be honest, because when you are in a startup, there's a lot of hats that you're putting on, right? The financial, the business, the administrative portion, the organization itself, and there's a lot of aspect, and you need to keep on switching hats. That's the challenge, right? And don't be disheartened that you don't know stuff, because when I embark on this journey, I don't know a lot of stuff, but I think if you really put your mind to it, you can do it, right? It's not impossible. It's not rocket science. It's difficult, yes. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it, but if you really passionate about it, you want to make yourself successful, at least your self-satisfaction, you will be able to accomplish it, inshallah.
You talk about challenges. So can you share with us, now that you are 6 months running this company, what are the challenges that you actually face?
I think the biggest challenge is that we have a lot of ideas, right? We have a lot of things that we want to implement, right? But sometimes this bunch of ideas clouded our judgment, clouded our clarity of how we want to move forward, right? So this is where you and your partners really need to sit down and, okay, what is the priority? What can be done next? What is important to be done next to ensure that you remain on track and not deviate? Sometimes out of the blue, you have like a out of the box idea, which is good. I'm not saying that it's not good, but is it relevant, or is it good to implement now? Should we put a pin to it? So that is one of the challenges startups will face. Hey, I got this idea, I want to do this, do that. Then it clouds the whole journey, and you may end up sidetracking to a certain extent, and it's difficult to pull you back in.
Yeah.
And obviously, even as partners or friends, right, one thing that is gonna be disagreements, right? For sure, you need to be able to separate that to a certain extent, partnership and friends. At the end of the day, business is business. This is my philosophy. Business is business, friendship is friendship. If let's say business, what I mean by that, if let's say business doesn't work out between us, we are still friends, right? Even if we squabble inside a meeting or a brainstorming session, after that, when we don't talk about the business, we still can connect with each other. Because at the end of the day, you, me, and everyone, we want the best for the business.
Correct.
We are putting forth, we are very passionate. That's why we are showing this passion inside our conversation. And sometimes when you show too much passion, it can be misinterpreted, or we are too excited that it may hurt feelings. Feelings get hurt. I'm sure you guys also have that kind of scenario. But I think take it to your stride and not be disheartened that rabak lah dia ni kerja macam gini. You need to be very transparent. You need to ensure that you talk things out. But if really you cannot force it, it cannot be forced. At the end of the day, if you guys were friends, maintain the friendship. Business doesn't mean business doesn't work out between the bunch of you. You cannot remain friends. So yeah.
The drive that you have, definitely there is a source of inspiration. So can you share with us where that source of inspiration comes from?
Okay, so one definitely the source of motivation. Okay, let's start with motivation is my family. I'm not from a well-to-do family. Obviously, my dad is just an average Joe, and he worked the same job for almost 20 odd years, right? As a administrator or admin assistant. So I see that he sometimes he struggles. When I'm not sure about you guys, when we were in primary school, secondary school, we can there's an opportunity for us to go overseas, Australia, learning journey, or exchange program. I'm unable to attend that because we are not financially strong to do that. So I tell myself that look, I want to be able to give my family the best possible things, right? Obviously not to spoil them, but give them ample opportunity. But not saying that people who do not have this opportunity will not be successful, right? It's matter of the drive. But my family is definitely the drive for me to go into business and really drive me to keep on moving forward despite any setbacks that I face. And in terms of inspiration, I think the best inspiration is our beloved prophet, right? He is the epitome of character that we need to emulate, right? He is an expert in business. And one interesting thing, I think I use Mu's name a lot. I hope he don't mind. But when I had a conversation with him, I asked him who does he look up to when it comes to business. And to my surprise, he said the prophet, because he is complete, right? He's very complete. Whether you talk about business, whether you talk about character, whether you talk about the way he manages people, he is the one that really we can emulate. And that's really, it resonates a lot in me to hear that. And also really sometimes we look at successful entrepreneurs currently, but actually we have a reference that we can make of that can really drive us, and it kind of keep us on the right path as well.
All right. So, I mean, that is really inspiring. Looking up to our prophet is something that everyone should really keep in mind, and also keep it to their heart, because like Feroz mentioned, there is no better example than the prophet itself.
I mean, it's not well documented, or rather it's well documented, it's just not widely spread that he himself is a successful businessman. Yes.
All right. So perhaps on this final part, before we end the show, can you share with us, you've already shared with us the future plans of Wokaygo. Can you share with us perhaps let me think, like the most upcoming, what do you call it?
Update?
Features,
functioning?
Not features. Update lah, basically. the one that is going to come out very, very soon.
What can users like me anticipate coming up soon?
Yes, he worded it better, man. Alright,
So the closest new feature that we're gonna implement is food delivery, right? I think that is something that a lot of us use. I'm also guilty of them. Lazy to cook, lazy to go out, just order food. And unbeknownst to me, actually, that when you look at the different service provider, there's actually a difference.
yes, dynamic pricing also. Yes.
Exactly.
With the delivery charges.
Exactly.
Yeah, and sometimes the food also, like, there's a slight difference in
Exactly. So with that, we want to roll that out, inshallah, in early March, just before bulan puasa, so that people
amazing.
during bulan puasa, during Ramadan, can start utilizing the feature for their breaking of fast.
Yes. Guys, you can make a more informed decision before you break your fast, guys. Save money, and you can just find it in Wokaygo.
Yes. So that is the. I wouldn't want to reveal so much. I want to keep the hype going.
Okay.
So let's leave it at that, and please check it out, and keep your eyes peeled for the upcoming. There's gonna be whatever that you guys are looking at right now in terms of Wokaygo. It's gonna be a 360 change. We're gonna change the whole UI. It's gonna be very, very centric towards the community.
Yeah.
All right. So shall we call it a day?
Yeah, just give me a second. So let me just because I took some pointers from whatever he just mentioned earlier. If you guys are working with a partner, you have an out of the box idea, put it back in the box, use that box to prioritize, right? And then after that, get back to speed on what you're supposed to do. And the other one was about the squabbles. It happens to me as well, right? So if you have a teammate or partners, remember sometimes you guys are fighting about the same thing, right? Like I've been through this before. Like we fight actually about the same thing. Kau nak ni kan? Ya, aku nak ni. But we are fighting about the same thing. It's ridiculous. So sometimes take a step back and then try to understand the whole situation. Things can get heated, right?
It definitely can. I think at the end of the day, you just need to know that this is coming from a position of passion.
Yeah,
You're
definitely.
passionate about
For
the business, and that's where you're having this kind of difficult conversation sometimes.
So one final question before we end the episode: where can our listeners find you if they are not already your users, other than the App Store and the Play Store?
Yes.
Find me. You can.
Social media.
Okay. I'm not very active in social media. I'm actually very camera shy and very social media shy. So I do have Instagram. And
For Wokaygo?
For Wokaygo, we do have Wokaygo Instagram.
Okay.
Right. That we will post updates. I think we're gonna start posting snippets of the new features. Right. Keep your eyes peeled for that. And inshallah there's more to come, and we really hope to serve the community with this new traction that we are trying to create.
Okay. I work with designers, so my final question is got final. So sorry about this, but when the moment you said Instagram and so on, I wanted to know, like, where can users provide feedback or ideas or new functions that they want to see in the app? Can they do it from Instagram or?
You can always PM us. We got feedbacks. We got criticism as well.
Okay, that's good.
Which is good. Yes, I agree. Via our social media, and we also have a feedback portion within the app itself. Even the Play Store, App Store, there are some feedbacks as well. So we read the feedbacks. We know and we acknowledge. We try to improve, but do bear with us, right? Be patient, and we will try to ensure that your patience will pay off. Yep.
Right, and with that, I think that's a very nice way to end the episode.
Yes.
Do you have any final stuff?
Nope.
Okay, so with that being said, I just want to give a huge thanks to Feroz from Wokaygo for gracing the podcast.
Yes.
Thank you so much for being
Thank you
here
very
and
much
for
for
sharing
having
with us your wisdom, your knowledge, and all the challenges and your life journey with us.
Thank you.
And for the listeners, thank you for tuning in. Stay tuned for the next episode, guys.